Hello, it's another exciting episode of your favorite news and current affairs program on television. It's today's review, and I am your host, Ray Osazwa. We've got loads and loads to talk about today, but like we'll do on the program, first we'll show you tits and bits from our feature story segment. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. And on set to discuss all of the informative issues from this week and the previous week is Stella. Hello, Stella.
Hi, thanks for having me once again.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
To dissect all of everything we've got for today.
100% ready.
All right, first we'll start with MP's pay rise. This one says David Cameron to accept £7,000 MP's pay rise. Now, several weeks ago, Stella, the Prime Minister's official spokesperson actually indicated that Mr. Cameron will not forgo salary rise as IPSA pushes ahead with plans to pay MPs a total of £74,000 annually. Now, in that report, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, it stated that MPs will receive a £7,000 pay rise after David Cameron said that he would not do anything more to block the wage increase amid concerns that it could trigger a backbench revolt. Now, that report further pointed out that Downing Street indicated that the Prime Minister will himself accept the salary increase and will not formally challenge the pay watchdog over plans for MPs to be paid £74,000 a year, even though Mr. Cameron had previously called the proposed salary increase simply unacceptable. Now, just yesterday, on our papers, we saw that MPs, the headline yesterday was MPs should not take the 7,000 rise, says 72% of voters. Now, like I said yesterday, the public overwhelmingly opposed the £7,000 pay rise for MPs, according to an exclusive poll coinciding with new government moves to hold back welfare spending. The research has actually found that government is clearly out of steps with public opinion on the pay boost, which is due to go through automatically. People from all backgrounds disagreed with the pay increase. So my first question is, what is wrong? What is wrong with MPs getting a £7,000 increase? If they're working hard, you and I in our various places of work, from time to time, we deserve a pay rise. So how come everyone is so opposed to MPs getting that £7,000 pay rise? Okay,
where a government is saying that there needs to be cuts so that they can improve the economy, and then you see that the parliamentary government are increasing the pay over to £7,000, not even £1,000 or, you know, £2,000, but you're seeing £7,000 increase. Of course, so you're going to see people.
Is the problem, in your opinion, the size of the increase?
Yeah, that's definitely one of it, the size of the increase. And where you see other people, like the NHS, for example, where there's been cuts and benefits are being cut, even for the ones that are disabled, ill, and then you see Prime Minister, you see that the IPSA want to actually increase the salary. You have to question and say, no, this needs to stop. Yeah.
All right, we would watch a clip, and when we come back, you tell us what else you think is wrong with this, because you said the size of the increase is just one of the problems with it. So when we come back, you'll probably be telling us what else you think is wrong with the increase. Let's watch this clip.
We've got the report from the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority, or IPSA, as they're known. That was released today, and we'll take you through some of the proposals, because at the heart of this is what IPSA call a one-off pay uplift, which would take MPs' pay from £66,000 as it stands right now to £74,000. Now, that would come into effect in May 2015. But of course, you talk about MPs getting a pay rise, and you get a predictable response from many members of the public. Perhaps surprisingly, many politicians criticising the idea of a pay rise at this time, including the Prime Minister, who warned the body to rethink that decision of any proposed pay rise. Now, we've got to be a bit careful with this, because IPSA was set up in the wake of the expenses scandal. And so what they're saying is that actually these proposals are cost neutral to the taxpayer. It won't cost the taxpayer anymore. And that's because they say they're trying to curb MPs' benefits and pensions. And if you look at the statement that was released today with the report from IPSA's chairman, he said that for the first time, MPs' pay and pensions will be set independently and away from the deals cooked up in Westminster. We're sweeping away the out-of-date and overly generous benefits. So the proposals today really have set IPSA on a collision course with politicians who are going to be complaining about this, saying it's absolutely outrageous that this should happen at this time. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the fallout from these proposals plays out.
Now, initially, we are aware that David Cameron was in total opposition of the increase. I don't know, for one, what has brought about the change, but I'm also aware that regardless of public opinion, this will be passed. The MPs will get the increase, whether or not, you know,
they like it or not.
They like whether the public likes it or not. So, at the end of the day, this is 72% of voters saying this is in complete opposition to what we think. But regardless of that, it is going to go through. So what was the point of conducting the research in the first place?
I believe the government wanted to see what everybody else had to say, what the public had to say about this, and because at the end of the day, they cannot change this. It's something that goes through automatically every year, and I'm sure the Prime Minister knew about this. So him saying at first it was unacceptable, I don't know whether it was a front for the public.
Trying to look good.
Yeah, trying to look good to say, I'm not pleased with this, I disapprove of it, but possibly maybe he was genuine in his choice, but now changing it and being...
Yeah, because when initially opposed the increase, there was a school of thought that, well, you can afford to say that because you earn so much more than we do.
Exactly, than we
so,
do.
Yeah, you're not thinking about us because, well, you're okay.
Yeah.
So maybe, you know, he's thinking of that as well. He doesn't want people thinking, well, I'm fighting against the increase for my own selfish gain.
I don't know. One thing is we see that there's been cuts everywhere, and I'm sure as Prime Minister, I'm sure that they can come up with a new law with the IPSA that says, okay, when the economy is down, then there should be a hold on the increase of what the MPs gain.
Okay. Like you said, it goes through automatically. There's nothing anyone can do about it. So maybe we shouldn't even talk about it. All right, we'll move on to something else. This one says, Charleston shooting. Emmanuel AME Church reopens for first service. Now, the South Carolina church, where 9 people died in a gun attack by an alleged white supremacist less than a week ago, reopened to worshippers this Sunday. According to the report in my hands, it says worshippers attended the first service at Charleston Historic Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church since Wednesday, when Dylan Roof, 21, was allegedly pulled a gun on members of the Bible Church. So since the incident, the church is reopening this Sunday. We're taking the report because when I saw the report, I saw loads of comments, you know, people saying, how come the church is reopening so quickly? We have at least 9 people dead and so many more injured. why are they reopening? Why are they reopening? And I thought, we see differently. What do you have to say?
Okay, first of all, what I have to say about that is actually a good thing that they opened up sooner than later. It would have just seen them as being traumatized. And as Christians, we're told to keep on going and to persevere regardless of what situation comes or circumstances. And it's unfortunate about the incident that happened last Wednesday, but one thing is that the church needs to keep on going. At the day, we are definitely always going to have persecution, one way or the other. So it's a good thing that they opened up and showed the world that, you know, we're ready to fight back regardless of what happens to us.
During the service, the church, the pastor who presided over the service actually said something profound. He said, we still believe that prayers changes things. You know, I thought that was, you know, remarkable. He said, but prayer not only changes things, it changes us, you know. Obviously, there are loads of people grieving. But as a Christian, when you realize that everything works together for your good, regardless of whether or not it seems good, the Bible didn't say good things will work together for your good, or some things. He said all things. So even that which happened, which in the eyes of everyone doesn't seem like a good thing, there's good out of it. It will make the church stronger. It will make the church pray better. It will, you know, bring that bond, you know, within the church. So I thought it was really remarkable that straight away they didn't have to wait or close the church up. They had a service, and as a body coming together, they could encourage one another, pray for one another, and go through, you know, this period of trial together and come out strong. Let's watch a short clip of an excerpt from the service. And actually, they had loads of people from other denominations come to join them. It's supposed to be a black church in quote, but there was a whole lot of white presence during that service. So that alone is a good thing in itself.
Yeah, it just shows.
Yeah. So let's watch the clip, and when we come back, we'll just conclude on this particular topic.
We come on the air tonight with the emotional return to that church in Charleston. 4 days ago, the scene of a massacre. Today, a place of strength. Mother Emanuel's doors opening for Sunday service for the first time since that tragedy. Every seat filled, every single voice raised in prayer and song. But there were stark reminders, too. The fallen pastor's chair draped in black, hugs and tears inside that Bible study room where the killings took place, and outside a police officer standing guard at every door.
Quoting from the book of Isaiah, Reverend Norvell Goff told the congregation at the church, affectionately known as Mother Emanuel, that their prayers were a triumph over evil.
At the service here, they had a strong message for the accused gunmen locked up tonight, that all the evil in the world couldn't close these doors. With the heat so thick they ran out of fans, white families joined black ones, filling the wooden pews of this historic African-American church.
It's a message that hate will not win. It will be love that has the victory.
I was drawn here to worship in solidarity with my brothers and sisters who are suffering.
It's like there's no color barrier. You feel the sorrow, but you also feel the unity.
Hundreds more had to listen outside, rebuking the alleged murderer and racist accused of ending 9 lives in their Bible study room downstairs. Families and survivors of those who died are sharing more details about the murders at Emanuel AME, saying that when he was done, accused gunman 21-year-old Dylan Roof tried to kill himself but failed.
But he actually put the gun to his head, from what I was told, and pulled the trigger, and there was no bullets left.
Reverend Waltrina Middleton says she had to see the seat and take this photo where her cousin lost her life. In an emotional interview, she and the family of Ethel Lance told us not to get it confused. Not everyone's quite ready to forgive.
I know forgiveness is a process, and I know with God's help that I will get there, but I'm not there yet.
While police continue to look at what may be Roof's manifesto posted on the internet and the pictures of him at Confederate monuments, there's this moment of light online, a drawing from a 7-year-old girl outside Charleston. Being colorblind is awesome. You should give it a try.
Now, Stella, I'm going to ask you, what else is striking? What else has struck you as a result of this incident? Just watching the clip now, you could see one of the family members of one of the deceased members of the church saying that as Christians, it's one of our tenets to forgive. Christ urges us, the Word of God urges us to forgive, because if you don't forgive, how do you expect your Father in heaven to forgive you? Actually, we err every day. But she did say that she knows what the Word of God says, but she's in a place of hurt right now, and it's going to be a process for her, which is very understandable. Losing someone really dear to you in any kind of way is hard. How much more when someone storms into your place of worship and takes the lives of people that are very dear to you. So it's understandable, but regardless of that, the Word of God stands sure, we must forgive. So I thought that, I should add that. But for you, what else was striking about all of this accident?
Well, I just want to first of all go to what you just said. Like you saw in the clip of her about the forgiveness. One thing is that when Jesus was on the cross, he said, "Forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." And as Christians, we are urged to do the same thing. And obviously, losing a relative or friend, or someone close to you is devastating, and especially knowing they were murdered, and it will be hurtful to you, and it will take a gradual process, to happen. But as long as she stands strong to the Word, as long as they stand strong to the Word, they'll be able to overcome it. Another thing that was striking about the clip was the fact that they had more people than ever before attend the church service.
So winning.
Exactly, like it just shows that what the enemy meant for harm,
for evil, turned out for good.
Because through this, when they see the unity that the church has, the way they've come together, regardless of what they see, the strength, many people are going to flood into there and want to give their lives to Christ. Say, wow, what kind of people are these? These are extraordinary people. They're different, and it's amazing. And I was hearing a few stories online, for instance, on the social media and so on, that even one son, as soon as Dylan Roof shot his father, he was saying, "Jesus loves you, he loves you, he loves you." He was still expressing the love, and it just fascinates me.
All right, I think, that alone, if you could see no good in this situation, that alone that just brings peace, to the heart of everyone watching, that at the end of the day, what the devil meant for evil, souls have been won. Loads and loads of people have been added, to the body of Christ. So that's amazing. All right, we'll move on. We want to take this one titled, "Thank God for the NHS. Teacher stabbed in classroom speaks out about traumatic event." Now, a couple of weeks ago, a science teacher was stabbed, right before his students. He was rushed to the hospital. The article today is not necessarily, about the event that took place in the classroom, but it's actually about NHS, because in his words, in Mr. Vincent Uzoma, who actually was stabbed, in his words, he said he always knew that the NHS is amazing. People would always say the healthcare system in the United Kingdom is one of the best you find in the world, but he had never experienced it until the incident in his classroom. He said it was amazing. In his speech, he was very thankful to his family and everyone who supported him. But he said NHS is they rendered world-class service. Before we start to talk about the services, the amazing services that NHS actually renders, there's a short NHS clip that I would like for us to watch. like that clip. Now, in the United Kingdom, you find that people complain a lot. They complain about everything. If you gave people a chance, they would complain. People would hardly really see anything good in anything. And NHS happens to be one of government services that you hear people always complain about. And that's sad to see, because until you travel out of, you go out of your environment, you never really would be able to appreciate what you have. If you went abroad, you would appreciate NHS, you know. So Mr. Uzoma actually saying he always heard and read that NHS is a first-class service, but now that he was stabbed and in the face of that attack, he actually experienced the world-class service that NHS has to offer. I thought it couldn't have been more true.
Yeah, okay. I feel like one thing we do is that when we have something, we tend to underappreciate it. Yeah. And this is what happens in the UK. If you go all over the world, like in other countries, like for instance, should I say, in a third world country, you really don't get those services.
Even America.
Yeah, even in America, people have to pay.
Exactly, for you. You just don't walk into a practice and expect to be treated. Yes, you must have insurance. You pay through your nose for medical care.
Exactly, and it's very expensive, whereas you can get it free here. You can get it free on the NHS, and they are straightforward. They are actually, if they know it's a serious issue, they would
go to the ends of the earth to give you the attention that you deserve.
There was a time, like almost 2 years ago, I got put through straight into hospital because I was feeling pains in my heart. And I wasn't sure, and then they told me I had to have an immediate heart transplant that also was life and death threatening. And at first I was like, no, what is this? And they said it was literally going to have to be by force. And they took me through, and I remember thinking, life and death, but I trusted in God, and I knew I would come out of it. And I was, at the end of it all, I was very grateful to the doctor. I couldn't stop thanking him for doing what he did, because that was my life. And yeah, I was really appreciative for what they
really, you're grateful to see how these people work. These doctors put themselves on the line night and day. I know, obviously, they get paid for what they do, but sometimes they don't even earn nearly as much as the service that they render.
That is true, especially if you're in privatized and you're in the NHS. There's a big, massive gap in what you're paid. And one thing with NHS, I know people complain about the delays and the waiting, but imagine how many people they have to accumulate and the funds they have. It's not necessarily enough. So I think we should try and learn to be patient and appreciate what they do. Because if you go to other countries, you wouldn't be able to get the kind
half as much.
Exactly, as what we get here. So
I just thought to add, when you were talking about some time ago, 2 years ago, when you had to go to hospital and you had a heart surgery, I know this is not what we ought to be talking about, but I just want to say, I remember that after that, you've been to healing school and you've been totally healed. The doctors treated you, they tried the best they could, but you went to healing school.
Yeah, when I went to the healing school.
Do you want to quickly talk to us about that before we go?
Okay. When I went to the healing school, I went to the one in Canada during the summertime. And
by the way, for the person watching that doesn't know what the healing school is, what's the healing school?
Okay, healing school is where you go to receive your healing from God. You spend time in the presence of God with many people, and it's through a 2-week period. It's a ministry arm.
Okay.
It's a ministry arm of Christ Embassy.
The Believers Love World
Nation. Yeah, of the Believers Love World Nation. So when you come there, be expectant to receive your miracle, because these things are real. I saw people get out of chairs, you know, people who were, you know, laid, they couldn't move, had no movement. They got up instantly. The atmosphere alone was spectacular. I've never felt that kind of atmosphere before. I never wanted to leave when I was there. I just wanted to be there. The enjoyment you feel, and when you see Pastor as well, it's
Pastor
Chris. Yeah, our Reverend Pastor Chris. It's Oyakilome. It's amazing. The glow, the anointing,
the glory.
Yeah, the glory. It's powerful. It was just immense. It was just beautiful.
Thank you for sharing that with us. On a final note, we just want to say we must learn to appreciate what we have. The NHS is one of the most amazing, you know, medical, what's the word? Service you can, you know, you can get from all around the world. So from time to time, we should learn to say thank you to all the doctors and nurses and everyone who has anything to do with NHS, because they really do put themselves on the line for this country when the need arises. That's all we can take for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for talking with us. And until same time next Wednesday, it is goodbye from Stella and I. Bye now.
Bye.